Okay.
I'll tell you one thing, it must be some size helmet.
Beat the drum for the natural-headed queens. Beat the drum for the natural-headed queens.
Like that, and because you outboxed the fucking best boxer in the world for rounds. You beat him at his own game. Your game plan was perfect. It's perfect. He nicked it just at the end. He nicked it at the end. He was stopping around. That's all it was. But that fight up until 10 was dead fucking level. You was outboxing the best boxer in the world. Your stock rose, mate. You rose. Like you come out of that with victory, mate. Like honestly, you know, if there was any doubters out there now, bro, there's fucking none now at all.
Sounded a bit like countryside, that one, but okay. Nice laid back Essex vibe, well done. Okay, bit lazy that one, terrible. Big John here, I'm at the TalkSport offices in central London and I'm going to rate people's boshes. We'll see if they're any good or not. Bosh! Bosh!
Bosh!
Nice laid back Essex vibe, well done. Bosh! Bosh! Okay. Bosh!
Bosh!
Bit lazy that one. Bosh!
Bosh!
Not bad that one, not bad at all.
Whenever you're ready.
Bosh!
Bosh!
Whenever you're ready.
Bosh!
Bosh!
Pretty poor that one.
2, 3, 4, 5, higher. 6, 7, 2 more. 8, 9, 10. And keep it.
You're secure anyway.
No,
Would
Ben,
that be your-
Ben. It's gone past that, mate, because we've been here now since July talking, mate.
No. So I'm saying, if I can't get you that by the end of the week, then I just give you the 100 grand. But I don't want. I actually have looked up to you growing up. I don't want this situation with you. I think I can do what you want, but I've got to the point now where I feel like Sky have fucked me, and I know you don't care about that, but that I'm not going to fuck you. And I know you say it's gone past the stage, but if I put in a contract where you've got, like, I've got to deliver.
I don't need to save money. I want to put on good fights. So that was a good fight for DAZN. So I'm disappointed. But what is the point in signing up for drug testing if when you fail, everyone just goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just let him fight." You know? Yeah. So the argument of, well, it's all right with UKAD is totally irrelevant. You've signed drug testing with VADA, the best testing agency, in my opinion, in the sport.
Got people on my phone that I haven't spoke to for 10 years. If I rang them up and said, look, there's 5 blokes outside my front door, can you come and help me? They'd be here. You know, so I've got plenty of people that would help me.
What we got here? The throwback lumberjack workout. AJ chopping the wooden block. What? Oh God. He's just created the modern boxing equivalent of Excalibur. Forget sword in the stone, we've got the axe in the log. AJ! What we got here?
Right, if I was on the phone to the Chinese, local Chinese, it'd be egg fried rice, special fried rice, large, plain chow mein, shredded chicken chow mein, large, salt and chili king prawn, salt and chili chicken, kung po prawn, sweet and sour chicken balls, sweet and sour pork balls, shredded chili beef, beef in black bean sauce, mini pancake rolls, large pancake roll, curry sauce, 2 portions of prawn crackers. Bosh. On Saturday night, I'll be listening to Usyk versus Joshua exclusively live on TalkSport while I'm enjoying my Saturday night Chinese. Special fried rice, bosh. Special chow mein, bosh. Sweet and sour chicken balls, bosh. Sweet and sour chicken Hong Kong style, bosh. Salt and chili king prawn, bosh. Salt and chili chicken, bosh. Barbecue spare ribs, bosh. Roast pork Chinese style, bosh. Crispy aromatic duck, bosh. Chips, bosh. Prawn crackers, bosh. Curry sauce, bosh.
Now I'm unmuted. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Can we do a quick mic check? Can you guys hear me loudly and clearly? If you can, please type 1 in the chat and we can get going with the question that is on everybody's lips across the world right now. And that question is the following. Why are we so shit in this country? I'm serious, like, why are we so shit at this boxing thing, man? Because I'll tell you what, yeah, we are serving up, yeah, some absolute arse of the highest standard. Now, I'm sure you can see we've got the brand new graphics on the screen. This is Ultra Tech Sports News. So, if you pay attention to the screen now, you will see this come up on the screen here. Why is British boxing so shit? What the fuck is wrong, yeah, with British boxing? Why is British boxing so fucking terrible at the minute? The Americans just got treated to a boxing event extraordinaire of the highest level. You had, yeah, multi-platinum, multi-Grammy award winning, yeah, Eminem walking out, yeah, Terence Crawford to the ring last night. These are the kind of individuals that we see, yeah, turning up for these big American fights. Do you know what I mean? We get the likes of an Eminem. We get the likes of a Will Smith. We get the likes of a Denzel Washington. These are the clientele that are turning up to watch, yeah, these big American fights at the minute, right? This is the clientele, right? No joke, yeah. They've got Magic Johnson, Will Smith, Denzel Washington. I swear to God, they've even had fucking former presidents, yeah, or former members of fucking Congress turn up to win these fights. Eminem, Jay-Z's, Rick Ross's, yeah. Even the greatest of them all, Birdman, yeah. You just got non-stop celebrities. And the production quality, yeah, on these events are absolutely tremendous, to the highest order. The glitz, the glamour. Las Vegas, there's no bigger stage on earth than Las Vegas, right? There's no bigger stage on earth than Las Vegas. You've got millions being betted at the casinos. You've got the glitz and the glamour. It's the mecca of boxing, right? So the Americans last night are getting Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. So I'm here to ask you, what are we getting? Because the best that we can muster up at the minute, right? I'm not being funny. The Americans are going to serving up Eminem, yeah? They're serving up A-list celebrities ringside. The last time I checked, yeah, the best we could drum up, yeah, ringside at a British fight is Jake fucking Wood turning up. And that's how far, yeah, British boxing has fallen, isn't it? Over the last year, 5 to 6, 7 years, isn't it? Do you not think that's how far British boxing has fallen, yeah? When Jake Wood, yeah, sits ringside in an event, somebody has turned up with a camera, yeah, filmed Jake Wood at the event and then plastered his name all over the screen as if it's some kind of... That's where we are at the minute, aren't we? No disrespect in it. The Americans are serving up here to pound for pound fighters, two of the top 5 pound for pound fighters on earth, fighting for undisputed in the middle of Las Vegas in front of some of the most powerful people on the face of the earth. With boxers being walked out by Grammy award-winning artists, and the best that we can muster up here is the likes of a fucking ex-EastEnders cast members might be sitting ringside, and they're not even watching the fight anyway. These ex-EastEnders cast members, they're not even watching the fight. Half of them are sitting there looking at their phones. And when you look at the fucking current schedule, that we are coming up with in this country, and if you look at the schedule that we've been coming up with in British boxing this year, is it any is it any fucking wonder, Is it any fucking wonder that we're asking these fucking question marks? Is it any fucking wonder? Let's have a look at these cards at the minute here. This is some of the biggest fucking dross, you've ever seen. And I want to start off by saying this, Martin fucking Bacoli. I've got a bone to pick with you, Billy Nelson, because you don't want to come on this channel. You're out here telling everybody that Martin Bacoli, is the best thing since sliced bread, and that he's knocked out Usyk in sparring, and that he's knocked out who is he knocked out? He's knocked out Usyk in sparring. He's knocked out Dubois in sparring. He's knocked everybody out in sparring. And then we serve up Martin Bacoli in the middle of Rest Now Poland against this guy called the Hulk, who, no disrespect to the Hulk, I respect every single man that's ever been in a boxing ring. But the Hulk does have the physique of somebody that has been carved straight out of a can of mashed potato. Would you agree with me on that? Spence and Crawford last night, Spence and Crawford last night, you can see the physiques, carved straight out of stone. Martin Bacoli versus Hulk, these guys have been fucking carved straight out of a fucking packet, of smash. Tony's here to have his say. Before I bring Tony in as well, let me just quickly say, I forgot to get my freaking graphics up. Martin Bacoli and the Hulk. Where are we getting these fighters? That's what I want to ask you guys. Where are we getting these fighters in British boxing? Where are we finding, these opponents? Why have we got guys, topping bills, with physiques, carved straight out of a can of smash? Tony, jump in if you're there. Are you there, my man?
Yeah, I can't stand this blasphemy. I can't stand this BS. I cannot stand your title because you're way off on this, because we all know, everybody knows, true boxing historians know that the greatest fight ever in boxing history is going to happen next month on the 12th. That is Campbell Hatton versus Tom Ansell. There's not a better fight out there. We are going to see the living legend, the best fighter who ever fought, whoever laced up gloves, whoever tied his boxing shoes, Campbell Hatton, back in the ring next month on the 12th. That eclipses. You can't even see it. The shadow's so big. The fight last night, who is that? Spence what? Crawford who? No, we're talking about Campbell Hatton. And on that note, y'all have a good day. I'm getting off because there's his picture right there. The UJ got the greatest guy ever. Y'all have a good one.
What is it? Hold on a minute. What is it you call him again? This man, Tony, called him hands of foam. Let me trademark that. That's Tony's trademark. In fact, hold on a minute, Tony. Let me do this for you. You think I'm joking? Tony called Campbell Hatton hands of foam. Look, this guy's fucking near the top of the bill next week, Tony's out here calling this man hands of foam. Let me just see it in a minute, At the minute here. Here you go, Tony. You asked, so you shall receive. There we go. Let's just get this in here. There we go. There we go. There you go. For those of you who are interested in your British boxing, Campbell, hands of foam Hatton, will be turning up here in an arena near you, taking on the deadly Tom Ansell in a fight. What are they fighting for? The Ring Magazine Midlands area title or whatever they're fighting for. I mean, look, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, Campbell Hatton is a busted flush. He's a guy that we should have given up on many, many fucking years ago. But it is what it is. Alas, let me fucking continue. Campbell soup, proper can. This man should have lost his second professional fight. Look at this man record. 112, KO 5, lost 0. Hold on a minute. Let me put the 1 in there very, very quickly. Because we all know Campbell Hatton got beaten by that tomato can who got flown over, in a fucking Del Monte box from South America on about half a day's notice. Do you remember that? They threw that cat, they threw him in with that can from a leisure centre, and the guy actually legitimately beat him, didn't he? The guy fucking legitimately fucking beat him. And they're out here talking about fucking Campbell Hatton's undefeated. So quickly we'll go in there and put a 1 on that record there. Because Campbell Hatton's lost at least 1 fight. Anyway, let me continue. Let's now go through this schedule. I want to start with Boxer. What is this shit? Martin Bakoli versus the Hulk. The Hulk, carved straight out of a packet of powdered custard, as somebody in the chat once said. Let's have a look here on what other shite Boxer have been serving us up recently. Remember, yeah? Listen, they're on the biggest fucking network in the UK, in Sky Sports. There's no fucking bigger network in the country. For some reason, I have no idea why, but my Boxer events page isn't zooming out at the minute. Here we go. That's a bit better. Well, let's carry on with this. Let's just see. And let's do our little run through of where we are at, yeah, with British boxing in the UK. Joshua Buatsi topping the bill, yeah, against Powell Stefian. What are we saying about this? This is what we're serving up. The Americans are getting fucking Crawford versus Spence. We're serving up Joshua Buatsi versus Powell Stefian from the Birmingham Resorts World Arena. What the fuck is that? The Birmingham Resorts World Arena. I mean, fucking hell. Boxer might as well start putting cars on at Butlins at this point. And then we had this man. Remember this fight? The Sleep Master, Lawrence Okole. Do you remember this man? The Sleep Master, Lawrence Okole, who got involved in one of the biggest ball fests of the year, yeah, against David Light. My God, talk about light. I had to sit here and watch 12 fucking rounds of this straight up garbage. Believe me, there was no fucking light at the end of the tunnel, yeah? For the viewers, you had to sit and watch this absolute shite of the highest fucking order. For a WBO Cruiserweight World Champion, I'm not being funny, right? I do think Lawrence Okole's got ability. But you have to say, yeah, after that performance against Chris Bellew-Smith, like Okole has to be one of the worst world champions, yeah, in a fucking history of fucking, of arguably of world boxing. Would you agree with that? Press 1 if you'd agree with that. Press 2 if you disagree. Okole, he has to be one of the worst world fucking champions, yeah, in the history of fucking boxing. Like, he is absolutely fucking diabolical. Absolutely fucking diabolical. Adam Azim, I'm not going to criticize too much, yeah, because it is what it is with Adam Azim. And then, Jesus Christ, let's just continue, because it gets even fucking worse when you go through the rest of this dross. This is possibly the worst fight of the year. Look at this one. Look at this absolute shite that we served up here. Lawrence Okole versus Chris Bellew-Smith. I don't think I've seen a worse top of the bill fight than this fight this year. You know, you've got a novice pro in Chris Bellew-Smith who's got plenty of heart, but very, very limited ability. And you've got the mummy, aka Lawrence Okole, who only knows how to hug his way out of trouble. Chris Bellew-Smith effectively won a world title in this fight by complaining to the referee. That's for me. I'm sorry, but that's what happened in this fight. Chris Bellew-Smith, yeah? And listen, I haven't got a problem with Chris Bellew-Smith. I wish him all the best. But Chris Bellew-Smith won a pity world title that night. He spent more time complaining to the referee about holding than actually fucking landing any fucking punches. He spent half the fight pleading to the referee. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. Referee taking points deductions everywhere. How many times has he taken Okole to warn him for fucking holding? We nearly had a disqualification. This fight was absolute toilet, yeah, of the absolute and highest order. You get my meme generator up here. Forgot what it is, but we'll get that up. There we go. Absolutely horrendous. Let's continue to go through this. You tell me, and I'm asking you guys in the chat, and I'll go through your comments. What is wrong here with British boxing? What can we do to fix British boxing? And I think the first point here is acceptance, isn't it? Don't you think that? What did I say the 5 stages are? What is it? Grief, anger, was it anger, bargaining, depression, grief, acceptance? Are we at stage 5 yet now with British boxing? Are we at stage 5 now with British boxing? Are we at the fucking stage of acceptance, yeah? When we're just accepting that, look, you know, we are serving up an absolute monumental pile of shit. You know, Fraser Clark topping the bill against fucking Dave Allen. I'll get onto that in just a minute. In fact, let me get onto that right now. That's when you know things are bad. Dave Allen is topping a fucking bill. Hello? I'm not being funny, but Dave Allen shouldn't even be given a fucking British Boxing Board of Control fucking license, man. The guy fucking sitting around just slurring his words, yeah, like you wouldn't fucking believe. And I like Dave Allen, but let's be honest, innit? Am I right? Am I wrong about that? Dave Allen out here, yeah, slurring his words left, right, and center. Next minute, he finds himself on the pay-per-view undercard. Can you fucking believe this shit? He finds himself on a pay-per-view undercard to Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith. Now, I just don't understand how any British boxing fan can think that's fucking acceptable. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the graphics up here of this absolutely monumental shit show of the highest fucking caliber. Dave Allen, a man who was pretty much beaten into retirement in sparring by Alexander Usyk. Dave Allen was a man who was hit so hard, yeah, by Alexander Usyk in sparring. When you talk about knocked out on their feet, Dave Allen, by his own admission, was clipped so crisply by Alexander Usyk in sparring that he literally said he was snoring while being on his feet. Do you guys remember that? Dave Allen literally said, yeah, when Usyk hit him, he didn't know where he was, and he was actually going. You could hear him. He was gone. He was literally out on his feet. He was fucking snoring in an upright position, man. He was snoring in an upright position. You'll struggle to see a more punchy. You'll struggle to see a more punchy, slurry fighter anywhere in the UK. I hear the British Boxing Board of Control don't want to give Dorian Darch his license back. So, accredited. Oh, here we go. Look at this shit. Dave Allen. Here, don't question my ability versus Fraser Clark. Who's fucking cleared him? Who's fucking cleared Dave Allen to box medically? Dave Allen says he's medically cleared to box. Is he now? I reckon if Dave Allen's medically cleared to box, he's probably been medically cleared by the guy who fucking medically cleared these two to fucking box. If I can just get this up for 1 second. I bet the guy who cleared, who said that Dave Allen, yeah, is medically fit to box. I'm medically clear. Don't question my ability versus Fraser Clark. Really, Dave Allen? Okay. I've got a funny feeling. Is this the doctor, yeah, who said that you're medically fit to fight? I bet you any money it was the same guy that sanctioned this shit, which also took place in a British boxing ring earlier this year. Don't forget, this shit also took place in a British boxing ring this year. Wings of Redemption versus Boogie 2988. This is where we're getting to in the sport. This shit counts, man. What, you think we can't count Wings versus Boogie? Did it take place in a British boxing ring? Listen, fucking sanctioned by the PBA, yeah? Ian John Lewis out here, yeah, saying that these dudes are okay to box. Was it the PBA? The Professional Boxing Association. Man, put British boxing in the fucking bin, man. This is a fucking disgrace. Put British boxing in the fucking bin. Dave Allen, don't judge me. I'm medically cleared to fight. Whoever cleared Dave Allen to fight, yeah, absolutely positively needs to be brought up on fucking manslaughter charges. Mr. Anderson says this is a guy who had his tongue split and was pissing blood for weeks when Ortiz bashed him, and he was paid $5,000. That's correct. That's the legendary Luis Ortiz versus Dave Allen fight, where Eddie Hearn at the time was telling everybody that everybody on Matchroom was getting paid mega purse. Remember that back in the days? This was back in the peak of Matchroom, right? Where Eddie Hearn had everybody believing that everybody on Matchroom cards was getting paid big, big money. Do you remember that? And then unfortunately, he pissed off Ahara Davis, and Ahara Davis let it out that Eddie Hearn was paying these guys fucking peanuts, and that Dave Allen got fucking £7,500 to get in the ring with a prime Luis Ortiz. And Luis Ortiz, Anthony Joshua, was on at the same stable. That's what Eddie Hearn is. If you ever need to know what kind of human being Eddie Hearn is, yeah, this is all you need to know about Eddie Hearn, yeah. Anthony Joshua and Luis Ortiz were in the same fucking stable, both under the Matchroom banner, both fighting in the UK at the same time, right? Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz never, ever happened, yeah? But they had time to put Dave Allen in the ring with a prime Luis Ortiz. A prime Luis Ortiz. And Dave Allen was paid £7,500 for the pleasure of it. Ended up getting his head smashed in, ended up getting his tongue split, as Mr. Anderson said. There you go. So there you go. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith. This is the original fight poster. This isn't the poster for the rematch, but we've got this fight coming up, yeah? Does anybody think there's a need for a rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith? And why is this considered some kind of big fight? Do you agree with me on that? Like, do you not think that's a big sign of like how far British boxing has fallen? When we're turning around and saying that fucking we're creaming our pants over Eubank versus Liam Smith. What are we creaming our pants over for? Eubank's a finished fighter. Would you agree with that? Like, why are we creaming our pants over Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith? Do you know what I mean? Liam Smith, with all due respect, yeah, is a former world champion. But he's a guy who is very, very unlikely to be a world champion again, is he, Liam Smith? Like, it's not like, you know, Liam Smith is going to go on to bigger and better things. We've seen the best of Liam Smith over the course of his career, didn't we? We saw the best of Liam Smith when he put in that fantastic fucking performance against Canelo Alvarez and still got stopped. And that was really the last time we saw anything significant from Liam Smith before we beat up a weight-drained Chris Eubank Jr. So why is a rematch between these two all of a sudden some kind of big card? What do you guys think about boxer shows in the UK? You know, considering they're with Sky, I think they are quite possibly the worst outfit in it. Would you agree with me that boxer are the worst promotion in the UK right now? Get your view. We've got 91 in the chat. Drop me a comment. Just drop me a like. Be part of the chat. Get involved, and I'll read your comments. I mean, this fight as well. Look at this. Savannah Marshall versus Franchon Cruz de Zern. This was a dreadful fight. Do you remember this one? This was an absolutely dreadful fight with the two of them just falling over each other non-stop. Literally tripping over each other, falling all over the floor. We all know about the Savannah Marshall. Balance isn't exactly her forte. Let's put it that way. As hard as she allegedly punches, balance and footwork, yeah, ain't exactly two of her greatest strengths. These are falling over their punches. They're falling over the fucking ring. Fucking Franchon Cruz de Zern's weave is nearly coming out midway through the fight. You know, it just looks bad. You know, it looks bad. What do you guys think about Boxer? What would you give Boxer out of 10 for this year? Boxer. What would you give Boxer out of 10 for this year and what they've done? Here you go. So here's their upcoming events. Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. Repeat or revenge, 2nd of September. For me, an absolutely pointless fight, if ever I saw one. An absolutely pointless fight. No need to have this rematch, but it is what it is. Let's see what else is coming up. Look, where are the other events? What do you guys think of Ben Whittaker? I mean, I know he's a brand new guy, but Ben Whittaker out here fighting absolute nobodies. What do you guys think about that? Ben Whittaker out here. What do they call this guy? Benzo. Fucking hell. Benzo. Ben Whittaker. They got him out here fighting nobody. They got Fraser Clark out here looking like an absolute clown. Didn't fight Fabio Wardley to turn around and go and fight fucking a shot Dave Allen. So they've made Fraser Clark. They've turned Fraser Clark from one of the most hotly. Fraser Clark, when he turned pro, I think everybody wanted Fraser Clark, didn't he? When he turned pro, every promotion wanted a piece of Fraser Clark when he turned pro. Do you remember when Fraser Clark turned pro? When Fraser Clark turned pro, there was like a nuclear arms race to get Fraser Clark signed. Do you remember? Like, everybody was fighting to sign Fraser Clark. Look at Fraser Clark now. Fraser Clark has turned into one of the biggest fucking jokes in fucking boxing. Am I right? Am I wrong about that? What do they call Fraser Clark? The bin man killer. Am I lying or am I not lying? Look. That's what they call Fraser Clark. They call him the bin man killer. Because all everybody's only seen him do is knock out bin men. Do you know what I mean? The bin man killer. Absolutely atrocious of the highest level. Let's have a look at this stuff. There's Fraser Clark. Look. Man's turned into a laughing stock. Just look at the comments on Fraser Clark. Look at this. Is this man having a laugh? He just needs to hold his hands up and say his promoter has done him a disservice. Either it's him or his management or both. They avoid Wardley but want to fight Dave Allen, who's finished. Shitting the bed to fight Wardley, making a meal of Whack and now Allen. I mean, Fraser Clark out here looking terrible. Do you know what I mean? I ain't never seen Fraser Clark look this bad before. So it is what it is. There you go. Milan is saying Whittaker is showboating against postmen. He's terrible. Benzo. He's bloody awful, isn't he? Ben Whittaker. Does he look like the next welterweight champion? Can I ask you this question? Look, we've seen the level, isn't it, with Crawford versus Spence, right? Am I lying, right? We've seen the levels with Crawford versus Spence. That's the level that's required to become a top-level welterweight at this time. Does Benzo Whitaker strike you as a guy who's going to be anywhere near, the fucking Crawford versus Spence? Think about Jaron Ennis. Do you see anything in Benzo Whitaker which makes you believe that this is a guy who's going to be in there with the fucking, in the same kind of quality and class as a Spence, a Crawford, a Jaron Ennis, a Sean Porter? Is that what you see when you see Benzo? Or do you just see hype? Because I ain't sure about this guy, What do you guys think? Oh my God, let's move on to Matchroom. Do you know what? Abdul's saying that Matchroom are number 3 and Queensberry number 4. Do you know what? That might be right. But you know what? If you look at the schedule, and honestly, I'm not saying this because I'm on the Frank Warren payroll, but genuinely, Abdul, if you look at the schedule on DAZN versus the schedule on TNT Sports, TNT Sports, formerly known as BT Sport, have got by far the strongest schedule out of anybody right now in the UK. Like, they are light years ahead of anybody in the UK right now. You got from, what was it, Crawford and Spence. What's the other fights that are kind of, I know Fury versus Ngannou is a bunch of garbage, but there's some other fucking high profile fights that have slipped my mind. But if anybody can tell me, I'll grab the TNT Sports schedule in a minute. It's very good. It's very, very, very good. Let's have a look here. Benzo fights actual Porters. Benzo. It's shocking, man. It's shocking. Let's have a look. TMT. You have no Crawford Spence, nor we have in France. Yeah, well, France is a. Yeah, well. Let's have a look here. Chris S says Ben Whitaker, British level at best. I don't know about that, but he's just welterweight has always been a stacked division, isn't it? Welterweight has always been, other than heavyweight, in my opinion, the glamour division in boxing. And, welterweight, you're a welterweight. You have to be a very, very good welterweight to get to the top level. But since Abdul is saying that Matchroom are up there, let's have a look at what they've got. Let's have a look and see what Matchroom have got for me. So we've gone through Boxer. I think Boxer are an absolute fucking disgrace, to be honest. Let's have a look at these upcoming events. Before we get on to the big one, is anybody interested in Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank? Is anybody interested in this? Saturday, August the 19th, 2023. Press 7 if I could interest you in this fight. Galal Yafai versus Tommy Frank on the 19th of August. This is what British boxing's fucking serving up. What are they serving up in America? What, Jamel Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez? Am I right about that? Are there any Americans? I know Shevan's still here. Shevan, am I right about that? That in America that you guys are serving up Jamel Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, undisputed versus undisputed. Did you know that round about August time, in the middle of summer, which is supposed to be prime time for British boxing, that was serving up, Galal Yafai versus Tommy Frank? Can I interest you in this? Let's have a look at the undercard, because we love to stack them, Cyrus Patterson versus Conor Walker for the WBA Continental Welterweight title. Solomon Dakares versus TBC. So this fight is 3 weeks away. Solomon Dakares ain't got a fucking opponent yet. You've got Kajil Majid versus TBC. You've got Aaron Bowen, Canelo Alvarez Jr. there, aka Aaron Bowen. You see him there? Aaron Bowen, aka Canelo Jr. He's in the ring with TBC. So it is what it is. He's one of Matchroom's big signings. Look, I'm sure he's a nice guy and a good fighter, but there you go. Look, this is what we're serving up on Matchroom cards there. So if anybody's in the Aaron Bowen fan club, there you go. You can go watch Stokes' answer to Canelo. There you go, Richard. Stokes' answer to Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. So there you go. It'll be on that massive DAZN show. Ibrahim Suleiman, Sahil Khan, and of course the great Muhammad Ali. 1-2, 0 KOs, 0 losses, 0 draws versus TBC. So 19th of August. That's what we're serving up on Matchroom Boxing. Galal Yafai versus Tommy Frank. Where's the rest of it? Look at upcoming. That's all we got. Literally, look. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Look. That's all we got. You think it's a joke? Other than Joshua versus White, which we'll get into in a minute. That's all we've got, you know. Look. What's happened to Matchroom Boxing? Look, I keep zooming out, yeah, in case it's like the web designers made a mistake with the responsive design and it shifted over all of the other big fights onto, you know, outside of the div or something. Look, that is what Matchroom is serving up for us this summer. A summer sizzler. Can I be honest with you? This shit here, right? No disrespect, but this garbage here, Bellew fighting Tommy Frank, ain't even fit for Frank Warren's back, ain't even fit for Barry Earn's back garden. Would you agree with that, by the way? They ain't even fit for Barry Earn. Remember that Barry Earn's back garden shit? Shite Camp. I wouldn't even watch this on Shite Camp. Let me get that crap up. Matchroom Shite. Let me get that shit up. Do you remember that summer? What happened to that, by the way? Matchroom Shite Camp. Remember that? Being Matchroom Shite Camp when everybody was getting pissed up in Barry Earn's back garden. And Barry Hearn apparently loves the fighters, but the fighters wouldn't even let the fighters use his own toilet. I keep telling you, innit? You got to be careful with these Matchroom people, innit? They say the fighters are our friends. So why you got Dillian White sitting in a Portaloo in an outside fight camp then? No, I'm being genuinely serious. Like, if the fighters are your friends, Barry and Eddie Hearn, and you love Dillian White so much, yeah, and guys like Dillian White, yeah, and Anthony Joshua are like family to you, no disrespect, yeah, but why won't you let Dillian White come inside your house and use the toilet? No, don't you think so? Like, Dillian White's been fighting on you, blood, sweat, and tears, innit, yeah? Dillian White's been fighting on. He's been a loyal Matchroom representative, right? Blood, sweat, and tears for the best part of what? Fucking what? 5-6 years, right? So why can't you give Dillian the spare key and let him go inside and use one of the many toilets that you've got in this big mansion? Look at this shit, man. The man's fucking sitting here, yeah, fucking brigading about how rich he is and how big his fucking mansion is. I don't know why that's come up. Do you remember this? Hey, Hearn, look at my mansion. I've got such a big mansion. We're going to hold fights at my massive mansion. That's how rich I am. So what's the deal in it? What's the deal? Why don't you let the fighters use the fucking toilet? We got Dillian White. I saw Dillian White before a fight using the fucking Portaloo, mate. Dillian White outside, yeah, doing a dump in the Portaloo before he's about to get sparked out by Alexander Povetkin, mate. That's fucking terrible, isn't it? Let me get this. Hold on. That's fucking terrible. Hold on. Let me get this up. Sorry, my picture game is... Here we go. Look. Here we go. What happened to this? If this was such a success, why don't they run this instead of the shit they're running now? Look, here you go. There's Barry's house. Nice little earner. Inside the Matchroom mansion. Eddie Hearn's former home. Eddie Hearn's former home converted into an office with a gym, pool, and a helipad. So there you go. This place is so high profile. Look at it. It's got a fucking helipad in it. So why is Dillian White outside in the Portaloo then? Why won't Eddie Hearn let Dillian White come inside, yeah, and use the toilet? Why is that, yeah? There you go. Tony Issue's terrible. Maybe they was worried Dillian would nick something. Barry would, wouldn't it? You imagine it? Fucking hell. Oh, dear. Imagine just before the Povetkin fight, innit? Imagine, yeah, just before the Povetkin fight. And Eddie's coming up to Barry in the middle of fight camp and saying, Dad, hear what? It's Dillian. He wants to use the toilet. Tell him there's one outside. Dad, what? It's Dillian. He says he needs to go to the toilet. Fuck, tell him there's one outside. There's a Portaloo around the corner. It'll be all right. Have you seen the size of Dillian White? He's about 6'6", 300 pounds. He can barely fit in one of them damn things. No wonder he's out here getting. You guys are wondering why he got fucking starched by Povetkin. I'm telling you the fucking reasons why here, mate. If you had to deal with that kind of shit before a fight, you get fucking sparked out by Povetkin as well. Oh dear, it is what it is. So anyway, there you go. Let's carry on with this, right? Let's get my man Campbell Hands of Foam Hatton off the screen. Let's carry on. I mean, this is just fucking hell. This is just... I don't know what to say about this. Can I ask you guys a question? We will talk boxing for just a second, right? And I want your guys' opinion on this. My best mate, Billy Nelson, thinks that because Terence Crawford took such a beating last night against Errol Spence, he thinks that that may affect Anthony Joshua in his fight against Dillian White. Do you buy into that? I don't buy into that, but Billy Nelson thinks so because he thinks, and I've been in a few boxing gyms and I do kind of understand what he's saying. He's saying that Errol Spence, is the leader of the gym, right? Errol Spence is the leader of that Derek James gym, the Lions Only camp, out in Texas, right? And they've all just seen Errol Spence get absolutely clarted, on live TV. Billy Nelson thinks that that will have an impact and an effect on Anthony Joshua going into the fight with Dillian White, and that it may start putting doubts in his mind of has he picked the right trainer, has he picked this, has he picked that. What do you guys think about that? Do you think there's any way that Errol Spence getting absolutely battered in that fight in the manner that he did will have any effect on Anthony Joshua? Do you think Anthony Joshua will be having second thoughts about being trained by Derek James? I'll tell you, there's one thing that we've seen about from Derek James last night. If Anthony Joshua ends up taking a beating in this Dillian White fight, which he won't, right? But I'm just saying, if something happens to Anthony Joshua, right, and he ends up taking a beating, Derek James is going to leave him in there, like, just want you to know. I hope AJ knows that, Don't go back to the corner looking for any sympathy from Derek James, because he's going to send you out for the next round. Like, he don't give a fuck. I tell you that right now. Anthony Joshua will come back to the corner with 2 shot eyes, a dislocated shoulder, and a fractured pelvis. And I tell you right now, Derek James is going to send him out for the next round. There's no question about that. Derek James is going to send him out for the next round. So he better be on his game, because you saw last night, man, they let Errol Spence take one hell of a fucking beating. Look at this. This is quite interesting. You want about, mate, says AJ went to DJ to learn defense. Do you not find that a bit ironic? Again, I'm not trying to put it on Derek James, but you look at Anthony Joshua's recent comments, didn't he? He said that Rob McCracken never taught me defense. He said that about Rob McCracken, right? Well, bro, this was some defensive performance last night, from Errol Spence Jr. And I don't want to be disrespectful, because Errol Spence is a legend, and a warrior. But I'm just saying, the comments from Anthony Joshua in the run-up to this Dillian White fight are quite interesting, aren't they? He's slagging off Rob McCracken, isn't he? And saying, well, Rob McCracken never taught me defense. Well, fuck me. No disrespect to Derek James and Errol Spence, but fuck me, there weren't a lot of defense last night from Errol Spence. I mean, he got busted up from fucking round 2. From round 2, round 3, his eyes started to swell up. His eyes started to get shut. He started to get cut up. I mean, he was cut. It wasn't like, towards the end of the fight, he started marking up. He was marking up from round 2, 3. He was getting tagged and walking into big shots. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anthony Joshua's claiming that Rob McCracken don't teach defense, but Derek James does. Be interesting. I like to see that defense in action, against the top opponent very soon, and see that theory tested out, Because Anthony Joshua has a habit of doing this, doesn't he? He has a habit, of bigging up these coaches until he gets beat or until he doesn't put in a good performance, and then he throws them under the bus. Press 7 if that's a good, if you think that's a fair comment, or press 8 if you think that's an unfair comment there about Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has a habit of bigging up coaches, doesn't he? Until he either gets beat or puts in a bad performance. But then he's the first one to go and throw the coach under the bus. Because basically, Rob McCracken became the fall guy, didn't he? For his first loss against Alexander Usyk, didn't he? Am I right about that? Am I wrong, right? Am I right? Rob McCracken was basically the sacrificial lamb, wasn't he? For Anthony Joshua's first loss against Alexander Usyk. The whole thing was pinned on, right? Remember what Anthony Joshua said? He turned around and he told everybody, right, that the reason why he lost that... In fact, do you remember? I'll even get this up. Anthony Joshua even had the fucking nerve to say he thought he was winning the first fight with Usyk. Press 10 if you can remember that. Remember that? Anthony Joshua actually said, I thought I was winning that first fight against Usyk. I'm actually trying to find it. He said he thought he was winning. And the only reason he didn't close the show was because the corner of Rob McCracken weren't showing any urgency in the corner. So he thought he was comfortably up in the fight. When we did a whole show about this, that's what he said. He said, I thought I was winning. The way here we go. Thank you very much. I don't make up stories. You can see YouTube videos all over it and all about it all over the internet. You can see them all around, including, I'm not going to play the video for copyright reasons, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of an example. But there was videos about this all over the place. And this is one of them. If we can get this up here. Anthony Joshua. I thought I was winning the Alexander. That's what he said. He said he thought he was winning the fucking Usyk fight. Yeah? So he threw his corner and his trainer completely under the bus. According to him, he was coasting the fight. And because his corner didn't tell him he was losing, he didn't put his foot on the gas. And then he told everybody, didn't he? He said he was going to hire Rob McCracken and Angel Fernandez, right? Which was a bizarre move. Am I lying or not, right? Isn't that one of the most bizarre moves we've ever seen, yeah? Right? Anthony Joshua hiring 2 head trainers. You know, I will go as far as to say, and again, nobody forced Robert Garcia to take the money, right? Nobody forced Robert Garcia into that situation. But do you not think that's a very, very disrespectful thing? When you've got a coach like Robert Garcia, who was a world champion as a fighter. So Robert Garcia was a world champion as a fighter, yeah? And he had an excellent reputation as a coach, right? Robert Garcia, right? He was a world champion as a fighter, and he was a very, very highly rated trainer. Do you not think it was very disrespectful of Anthony Joshua to turn around and bring somebody like that into camp and say, look, I trust you, but I don't trust you to run this camp 100%. So I'm going to put Angel Fernandez in there with you. That is one of the most bizarre. And I've got nothing but respect for Angel Fernandez. Somebody who's a regular on this channel is very, very close friends with Angel Fernandez. Or he's very, very, not close friends, but he's very in with Angel Fernandez. People don't realize I could have got some inside information for some of these Anthony Joshua fights, because one of the people who's a regular on this channel has a direct line to Angel Fernandez, and had a direct line to Angel Fernandez way before he ever trained Anthony Joshua, right? So do you not think that's a bit weird there? Do you not think that's a bit disrespectful? Would you ever bring in you would never bring in I'm not saying Robert Garcia is Emmanuel Stewart, right? But you would never bring in an Emmanuel Stewart to your camp, or a Freddie Roach, right? And tell someone like a Freddie Roach, look, I'm bringing you into camp, but you've got to get along with this guy here. Do you know what I mean? What do you guys think about that? I just think it was mental. And no disrespect to Angel Fernandez. He's a tough man. If you hear his story, Angel Fernandez is hard as nails. But Angel Fernandez is not a former world champion. And Angel Fernandez doesn't have big, like, well-known credentials in the sport of boxing. So Anthony Joshua was walking in there, and Anthony Joshua was telling a former world champion, certified world-class trainer in Robert Garcia, that he's got to get along with a guy who has no real discernible achievements in the sport of boxing. And that's no disrespect to Angel. I'm just telling it how it is. A guy who's got no real discernible high-profile track record in the sport of boxing. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. To me, it's fucking crazy. So Derek James and Anthony Joshua, don't be surprised if that goes down the shit very, very quickly. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if that goes down the shit very, very quickly. You know, Anthony Joshua made up a hit list of what? 10 trainers, right? He was touring across America, and he was seeing all of the most high-profile trainers, wasn't he? He saw the Derek Jameses, he saw Ronnie Shields, who snitched on him. He saw Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso. He just went across all the high-profile gyms in America and picked a high-profile coach, which in itself is a massive, massive, massive red flag. I have a feeling he picked Derek James partly because Derek James was the flavor of the month at the time. But after this Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight, I ain't sure, that Derek James is going to be the flavor of the month anymore. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think I'm wrong or right? I'm just telling you right now, and I've got nothing but respect for Derek James. He's another one who was, I think, former world champion. Certainly, Derek James had a career in boxing, right? So I'm not being disrespectful, but what I'm saying here is, it did seem to me at the time that when Anthony Joshua did pick Derek James, it did seem like more of a fashion statement. Do you know what I mean? Do you not think, like, he made a list of the most hyped coaches: Garcia, Ronnie Shields, Eddie Reynoso. He picked a guy, he went to America. He found as many high-profile coaches as he could have, yeah. and he picked the one that was in fashion. What Anthony Joshua did when he picked Derek James, to be honest, was no more different than somebody going to TK Maxx and picking up a pair of Visu jeans. You're just picking up what's in fashion at the time, aren't you? Hey, who remembers these? Who remembers these Visu jeans? Do you remember when they was in fashion many years ago? And you had Muppets walking around in these, and these things cost 150 clots. You know, I think I'm joking. These things cost 150 clots. You get me? Look, who remembers the Visu jeans? Some things in it that come in fashion. Look at this shit. Remember when people were spending, £200 a touch on this shit? Because it was the flavor of the month. Derek James is the Visu jeans of boxing. I'm trademarking that, and I don't want anybody to nick that off me. Derek James, I'm not saying Derek James ain't a good trainer. But I'm telling you that Derek James is the Visu boxing, yeah? It's the Visu jeans of boxing, yeah? He's the Averex jackets of boxing. Yo, can you remember Averex, though? Remember these, though, back in the day? When you couldn't walk down fucking street without a man wearing these? They then trying to rob you for your mobile phone. Press 1 if you remember these. Do you remember back in the day? Back in the early 2000s, when you literally couldn't walk down any street in London without seeing a man with one of these on, though. Am I lying or am I not lying? This is what Derek James is. Derek James is the Averex jacket, yeah? Of boxing. He's a fad, man. He's a fad. Derek James is a fad. Derek James is what's in fashion. Yeah? Derek James is a fad. Derek James is what? Remember this, though? I'll give you one more one. What, Derek James? Derek James is the shot jacket, yeah? Of boxing. Don't you remember when man was walking around wearing these? Where's Jason Walker? Jason, I know you're out there in Ladbroke Grove. Don't lie and say you never walked down Ladbroke Grove and see a man wearing shot jackets, bro. I had one of these myself. What you know about this, though? These things cost £150 a touch. Press 1 if you remember these, though. Shot jackets. These things cost £150 a touch, though. I had one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Remember, you couldn't walk down the street without seeing shots. Derek James is the shot jacket of boxing trainers, man. Derek James is the shot jacket of boxing. Yeah? Here today, gone tomorrow, man. Listen, when you pick, this is why we have Tony on this channel, yeah? And you know, Tony used to box, and we say all the time on this channel, like, don't just pick the most high-profile trainer, yeah? Pick a trainer who you can communicate with. Pick a trainer who you probably get along with because you're going to be spending a lot of time with that person. And, you know, pick a trainer who, some trainers are better than other trainers, but some trainers are better for you than other trainers. Press 8 if you agree with me on that. Some trainers are better than other trainers, but guess what? Some trainers are better for you than other trainers. You feel me? Some trainers are better for you than other trainers. And you need to find a trainer that's right for you. Are you vibing with that trainer? When they break things down, don't just pick the next big hype thing. And I wonder if that's what Anthony Joshua's been doing. So, yeah, to answer the question, Billy Nelson thinks that Errol Spence is the leader of that Lions Only gym. He's been absolutely bad. You've got Jamal Charlo, who's going up. How many weight classes is he going up? Jamal Charlo's going up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez. That could end in tears, right? That could potentially end in tears. So you've got Jamal Charlo going up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez. Undisputed versus undisputed. Dare to be great. You know these Dare to be great fights? Have you ever seen a Dare to be great fight that hasn't ended in tears yet? Like, I'm not being funny, but all of these Dare to be great fights where you've got a guy moving up multiple weight classes, it always ends up in the guy getting clarted. If you go back to Amir Khan versus Canelo Alvarez, Amir Khan put on 4 of the best rounds of his career and then got put on a highlight reel. Am I lying or am I not lying, innit? Amir Khan pretty much won every single round against Canelo Alvarez and put in arguably the best 4 rounds of his fucking career. And then Amir Khan got put on a highlight reel. Fucking Mikey Garcia was pound for pound fit. People were saying Mikey Garcia might be number 1. Do you guys not remember when he fought Errol Spence? People were saying Mikey Garcia might be close to number 1. He was like 3 or 4. He got absolutely battered by Errol Spence. He was never the same again. Mikey Garcia after that. People completely forgotten about how highly rated Mikey Garcia was. Battered in his Dare to Be Great fight and never seen again. Kell Brook, battered by Golovkin in his Dare to Be Great fight, and he was never the same again. So these Dare to Be Great fights, yeah, the track record of them ain't looking good. Would you agree with me on that? It ain't looking good. The only people that seem to be making out like bandits, yeah, from these Dare to Be Great fights are doctors and surgeons, because it normally ends up in a detached retina or a broken orbital bone, and the fighter fucking spending the fucking rest of their life, yeah, getting fucking surgeries and fucking medication and all sorts. The only people, I tell you what, right? I'll tell you what, private doctors across the United States, when they heard that Jamel Charlo was going to end up fighting Canelo Alvarez, let me tell you right now, private doctors across the fucking United States are fucking sitting there, fucking rubbing their hands like Birdman. Telling you right now, they be out here, yeah, rubbing their hands like Birdman. You know, surgeons in the Texas area right now, they be rubbing their hands like Birdman. They be waiting for Jamel Charlo to come in. You know, show you right now. Do you know what I mean? I'll show you right now. This is what consultant surgeons in the Texas area are doing right now. Waiting for Jamel Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez. There you go. You walk past the window, innit? You walk past the window of the consultant surgeon, and he's standing by the window rubbing his hands. He's sitting there waiting for Jamel Charlo. Because I hear Jamel Charlo stepping up 2 weeks to fight Canelo Alvarez. Receptionist, can you book Jamel Charlo in for surgery? I'm going to be performing orbital bone surgery, yeah? Later on, yeah, in the second half of 2023. Can you book in Jamel Charlo? Book in Jamel Charlo. I need to be sitting there at the front, rubbing his hands, waiting for Jamel Charlo to walk in. Because they making out like bandits, innit? Because of these dumbass Dare to Be Great fights. Because, you know, fuck fighting in your own weight class. This is boxing in 2023. There's any doctors in Texas hearing about what's going on in this Lions only gym. Guys, give me your opinions on this Anthony Joshua, because that's the next big fight. And you know what? People are forgetting about this fight, yeah? Richard says a 2-for-1 on facial reconstruction. Listen, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. A 2-for-1 on facial reconstruction. What some of this stuff that's going on is an absolute joke. Let me ask you guys about this Anthony Joshua thing versus Dillian White quickly. This fight is basically 2.5 weeks away, right? I can't remember, other than like these Anthony Joshua fights are flying under the radar. And again, this ties in with why is British boxing so shit, because as much as we sort of disrespect Anthony Joshua, right? And I'm known to be giving Anthony Joshua a fair kick here and there, right? But as much as we disrespect Anthony Joshua, would it be fair to say that Anthony Joshua has been propping up British boxing for the last couple of years? Would you say that? Would you say that Anthony Joshua has been propping up British boxing for a couple of years, and that British boxing has been in a bit of a bubble, hasn't it? Do you not think the British boxing's been in a bit of an Anthony Joshua induced bubble? Do you not think that Anthony Joshua has actually inflated British boxing? Yeah, right. He's brought so much money into the sport of boxing. He's drawn in so many punters, right? He's brought in so much money to the sport of boxing. You know, he's almost sort of created a bubble. He's almost sort of inflated British boxing more than it actually is. And now Anthony Joshua's the Anthony Joshua bubble's starting to burst, and we're finally starting to actually see now what British boxing for what it really is, aren't we? Do you not think that? Now that we're starting to get towards the end of Anthony Joshua's career, you know, the bubble's beginning to burst. We had to look at this. Look, this is the previous card. I know we did this before, but I'm just going to do this one more time. Let me give you an example of the Anthony Joshua bubble at its finest. I don't know how we found this, right? But we looked at the undercard, the original undercard for the Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White fight, right? I'm going to try and get it up now. The original undercard for the Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White fight, when they fought for the British title all those years ago. And we compared it to the undercard for this current fight. And let me tell you, the difference between the two is absolutely unbelievable. And of course, I can't find it, but I think Wikipedia may have something on it. Here we go. We've got it up on the screen right now. I'm just going to put it on the sidebar here. This is the original undercard for Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte. This is about fucking 7 years ago. Look at what we got on this card, right? This was pay-per-view, fair enough, right? But look at what we got on this card. We got Paul Malignaggi. We had Derek Chisora. We had Yvan Mendy giving Luke Campbell his first professional loss. We had Tony Bellew versus Matthias Mastinek. We had Ishmael Barroso, who should have beaten who many people think should have beaten Rolly Romero, right? We had Ishmael Barroso versus Kevin Mitchell. We had Chris Eubank Jr. in his prime when he actually could make a weigh-in versus Spike O'Sullivan. And then we had Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte. I think if anything ever sums up the Anthony Joshua bubble, that's what the Anthony Joshua bubble was, wasn't it? Do you remember when we were getting and to be fair, we were looking at undercards like this and we were saying these are us, weren't we? I was saying, fuck hell, what the fuck is this? Fucking Derek Chisora versus Yakov Gospic. Because this is when pay-per-view was just really beginning to kick off again in the UK. Do you remember? Pay-per-view was just beginning to kick off again in the UK. And this was before the era of fucking Fury and Chisora. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is when pay-per-view started to get reintroduced to the country, yeah? And the British public weren't conditioned yet. We were used to getting everything on Sky, weren't we? So we weren't fully conditioned yet to paying £20 for a bunch of garbage. So we were saying, well, why are we paying for this? This ain't great. But if you look at this card compared to the cards of today, my fucking God. Can you believe it? It was unbelievable what we were getting right then. Unbelievable. Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte became British title. Eubank and O'Sullivan, Ishmael Barroso, Kevin Mitchell, Bellew and Mastinek, Mendy and Campbell, Chisora and Malin. Oh my God. Look at it today. So it looks like the bubble's bursting, isn't it? As Anthony Joshua is now beginning to deflate and his career is beginning to come to an end, it looks like the career of fucking British boxing is fucking coming to an end as well. Let me just shut this door 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Somebody's saying, but the Tony Bellew fight was whack. Yeah, well, Tony Bellew fights are always shit to watch. Tony Bellew is one of the most boring fighters. Do you guys not think that Tony Bellew is one of the most boring fighters to watch of all time? The only time it's ever good to watch Tony Bellew is when he's getting sparked out. He hasn't been in the only fight Tony Bellew's ever been in that was even semi-watchable was his fight with, and that he actually won, was his fight with Makabu. Would you agree with that? Tony Bellew was always a notorious snorefest, was he not? Do you remember his fight? Was it with Chilemba? Oh my God. Do you remember his fight with Chilemba? Jesus Christ. I think fucking there were rumors that fucking half the crowd in Liverpool were fucking applying for compo and compensation after having to sit through that fight on the basis of people were fucking filing in claims on the basis of fucking distress, weren't they? Having to sit down and watch that fight. Was it Bellew versus Chilemba? I think that was recently. I think Bellew versus Chilemba is that the fight that's universally accepted as one of the worst ever fights in history, like ever. Like I think even Eddie Hearn on IFL TV said like he had a hard time sitting down watching Tony Bellew versus was it Chilemba? Was it that one? I think it was so bad Eddie Hearn actually sat down on IFL TV about 5 years later and said he had a hard time sitting down watching that shit. I mean, it was just pure pedigree chum of the highest order. And talking about how fucking bad British boxing is, Tony Bellew's talking about making a comeback, age 40 years old. Look at that. Why is British boxing so shit? Is the boom over? Well, we got a 40-year-old Tony Bellew contemplating coming back to the ring. This was a fucking month ago. Tony Bellew wants a boxing comeback age 40 and calls out an opponent. Tony Bellew wants to become a two-time world boxing champion and has a world title route planned out. When Tony Bellew ever comes back to the ring to box again, that'll be a sad day for boxing. I think we can all agree on that. Nathan Cleverly is the Welsh fighter, Chris, that we're talking about. Sure, that is also one of the absolute worst pay-per-views of all time. That's the one. Bellew and Cleverly. Oh my God. That was horrific. Bellew versus Cleverly. I fucking streamed that and I wanted a refund. That's how bad that fight was. And remember, they were making it out to be like absolute war. Do you remember that? Bellew versus Cleverly. They were making that shit out to be like an episode of Brookside Close, isn't it? Look. Remember that? Does anybody used to watch Brookside Close? Do you remember that one? They were trying to make that out to be an episode of Brookside Close, though. And they had fucking Tony Bellew playing the role of Barry Grant, innit? Do you remember? Tony Bellew was playing the role of Barry Grant, innit? And then fucking Nathan Cleverly was playing the role of fucking Jimmy Corkhill. Do you guys remember this shit? That's what you had, innit? Bellew versus Cleverly, yeah? On Brookside Close. Do you remember that? Fucking. It was shocking, mate. Sorry, muting myself. That thing was absolutely shocking, mate. You had fucking Tony Bellew going on, and they were going on like it was going to be the most brutal beef of all time. The most brutal beef of all time. And like Bellew was calling Cleverly an alcoholic. Do you remember that before the fight? Bellew was calling Cleverly an alcoholic and shit, and saying, "I know you got problems with drink." Oh my god, that fight was absolute dross. So yeah, the fact that Tony Bellew is contemplating coming back to the ring, I mean, that would be the final nail in British boxing's coffin, wouldn't it? A return to the ring from Tony Bellew, Mr. Vacant Champion. Are there any vacant champions for him to sweep? Oh, of course, he's talking about Bridgerweight. That's Tony Bellew, isn't he? Path of least resistance. That's what I should call him. Tony Path of least resistance Bellew. Of course, they come up with a fucking Bridgerweight division. The WBC makes some bullshit division out of the middle of nowhere, innit? And Tony Bellew decides to come sniffing back around boxing. I tell you what, he can smell vacant belts, mate. Tony Bellew's got a scent for fucking vacant belts like fucking sniffer dogs at fucking Heathrow Airport. Tony Bellew's got a fucking sense for fucking vacant belts. Like sniffer dogs at Heathrow Airport, mate. Tony Bellew can smell them vacant belts a mile away, man. Shit, me. Tony Bellew can smell them vacant belts, man. So I tell you what, them vacant belts are like to Tony Bellew. Every time the WBC release every time they create some new belt or some new bullshit division, that's like the backlight in it, Tony Bellew, innit? That's like this. Every time like someone makes up some bullshit division, Bridgerweight, and you've got the likes of Alan Babbage getting world title shots, Bridgerweight. This is what Tony Bellew sees, isn't it? It's like the backlight being shined out in the sky, the vacant belt backlight. Tony Bellew can see it, innit? What's this? Is this? Somebody in trouble? Somebody needs help? Is there a vacant belt out there? What's this? New division? Vacant belt? That's like the fucking backlight to Tony Bellew, innit? He just comes in it. He said he was going to retire, but then he straps on his bat suit again and he comes out of retirement one more time, innit? To save us all. Fuck hell. Let me quickly show you Tony Bellew's Twitter. I know I said I want to talk about Conor Benn again, but while we're on Tony Bellew, let me quickly show you this, then we'll move on. I actually had not a chat with him, but I had to ask him a question today. This just shows you how bad it is. Look, this is Tony Bellew, the man who said, right, I shit you not, all drug cheats. What did he say about performance enhancing drug cheats? He equated them to murderers, didn't he? He equated them to murderers, right? So Tony Bellew, this is his tweet on Conor Benn, right? Probably, right up there for most sickening tweet of 2023. This is Tony Bellew. I don't know if you can see this on the right-hand side of the screen. In fact, you know what? Let me drag it over. I'll tell you what, because I love you guys so much. I'll drag it over to the main screen. This is Tony Bellew's sickening tribute, to Conor Benn. Tony Bellew's a man who says, and I quote, "No ifs, no buts. You fell for performance-enhancing drugs, you're banned for life." Isn't that what Tony Bellew says, word for word, didn't it? No ifs, no buts. Well, this is Tony Bellew today about Conor Benn. People wrote this young man off and refused to believe. I didn't. All the people who slated him and tarnished his name should apologize. I am so happy and proud of you. You never gave up, even in the darkest moments. Can you fucking believe this shit? That's Tony Bellew posting photos of himself and Conor Benn in his trip. This was today. This was today. This wasn't last week. This was this morning after the Crawford fight. Look at it. Look at it. Tony Bellew posted this shit up this morning after the Crawford fight. Like, he proud of Conor Benn and shit. This is a man who said, no ifs, no buts. You fell for performance-enhancing drugs, you're banned for life. Well, Conor Benn failed 2 drugs tests. Now, let's have a look. I had to ask Tony the question, innit? Because what Tony was saying didn't make no sense. Let's have a look at the replies to Tony. Look at this. Shameless tweet. You're meant to be an anti-drugs campaigner. He's not being cleared fully of drug use. You know it, and I know it. Matchroom's Matchroom's PR machine can't change it. So this was Tony's response. Look, I'd ban anyone taking PEDs out of the game for life. He's never taken a PED, and he's fought with everything he has to clear his name. He could have took the easy route, which would have been saying, I took a pill by accident, but he didn't. He's remained strong and proved himself. So can you understand what Tony Bellew is saying? Tony Bellew is saying that Conor Benn never had PEDs in his system. That's what Tony Bellew is saying. I'd ban anyone taking PEDs out the game for life. He's never taken a PED. That's Tony Bellew 11 hours ago on Twitter about Conor Benn. This is why it's very, very important, right, that people, independent people in the media, keep putting their foot on these people's necks, yeah? Because can you see the problem that's going on here, Tony Bellew? Tony Bellew's out here saying that Conor Benn's been cleared of a doping violation, which he has not been cleared of a doping violation. That's incorrect, and it's deliberate, right? But he's also saying Conor Benn's never taken a PED. So, Tony, if he's never taken a PED, how did he fail 2 fucking VADA tests in the space of a couple of months? And also, Tony, why has he hired a team of experts who are going to try and prove that the PEDs got into his system via food contamination? Makes sense. I mean, Bellew literally lives on a fucking different... Well, he doesn't live on a different planet. He knows exactly what he's doing. The whole point of it is to... do you know what I mean? And that's what's been going on with this whole case. The whole point of this is to confuse you, isn't it? And it's mental warfare. It's to confuse you and beat you down into submission. And what they want to hear, and I'll get off Conor Benn right now, but all I'm saying is, on this Conor Benn situation, right, there is nothing more that Matchroom would like to hear than what people are saying at the minute. Oh, just move on from it. Leave it alone. Oh, just leave it alone. Oh, it's just gone on for ages. I'm bored of it. That's music to their ears because that's what they want to hear. Because what they want to do is muddy the waters as much as fucking possible and tell Porky Pies as much as possible. So it is what it is. Oh, breaking news. Breaking news. Guys, breaking news. Bit of breaking news. Hold on. Quickly, let's get this up. Hold on. Where's my fucking graphics package? Hold on a minute. 1 second. Where is my graphics package gone? Here we go. Let's just see if we can get this up. I'm a complete absolute numpty. But let me see if... Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I can get this up. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. It's the fight that you've all wanted and all want to see is finally fucking happening and finally on. And, you know, it's so ironic that they announced this fight on the episode that we talk about British boxing being an absolute joke. Right, let's get this breaking news thing up. Are you ready? Da, 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 da. There you go. What do you guys think of that? There you go. There you go. Look, we've got all the graphics on this channel. There you go. Breaking news. The breaking news alert is on. As you can see, breaking news. Yes, Dexter Rico, you are 100% correct. KSI. KSI versus Tommy Fury. Will be coming to an arena near you. It's British boxing again. October the 14th at Manchester Arena. There you go. Logan Paul is also on the card. Opponent to be confirmed. There's rumors that Logan Paul's opponent may actually be Jorge Masvidal, by the way, which would actually be a very, very big name. But there you go. There you go. It just, you can't write it, can you? The one time I do an episode about why is British boxing so absolutely and utterly shit, yeah? We get this breaking news. that Tommy Fury will be getting in the ring with KSI. If you guys have got any views on that, let me know. And it's interesting. We should see what channel that will be shown on, because obviously Tommy's no longer with Frank Warren, so it might not be on TNT Sports. This one could land on the Zone. Do you think it would land on the Zone? Wouldn't you? On their Misfits, wouldn't you? So the Zone. This is going to be some of the biggest business that the Zone UK do this year. So maybe we will get Eddie Hearn in the middle of these two. And mind you, Eddie Hearn's already said he hates influencer boxing, doesn't he? He said he hates influencer boxing, so it is what it is. But I'm sure, he will turn up to the opening of a fucking envelope, so I'm sure he'll turn up for this. It's not the Zone pay-per-view, Dexter. Pay-per-view, yeah? Well, actually, well, it's got to be, in it, because if... let's just check that. Do you mind if I just quickly check? So you're saying it's the Zone pay-per-view, yeah? You see what I'm saying right now about this? Oh my God, it is, Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this, look. Can you believe this shit? They couldn't even wait till after. Do you not think, can I ask you guys a question? Do you not think out of respect? Let me get rid of this thing for 1 second. Let me get rid of this graphic because it's blocking the screen. Just give me 3 seconds here. Let me just get rid of this graphic right here. And I'll bring it back in a second. Excuse me, let me stop it. Do you not think, out of respect for Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, these motherfuckers couldn't even wait 24 hours. These motherfuckers couldn't even wait 24 hours before announcing this absolute turd bucket. KSI versus Tommy Fury in the Manchester Arena, October the 14th. What can you say about that? What can you say about that? I'm just going to change the title of the stream. If you just give me 3 seconds. I know you guys don't want to talk about influencer boxing, but I just want to have a quick glance at it very quickly because it is breaking news, and this is the Ultratech News, Ultratech Sports News channel. So I just want to see here, KSI versus Tommy Fury. Does anybody? I feel guilty for saying this, yeah. But I'm going to ask you anyway. Who are you guys picking? Is it a fight you're interested in watching? Is it going to be one of them fights where we slag it off, but we watch it live? Guys in the chat, who's going to watch this live? By the way, we've got 125 people in here. We've only got 45 likes. If a few more of you could click the like button, I'd be very, very interested. That'd be very, very good. Let me just quickly change this. Quickly put the new headline in. We quickly put this. What is it? October the what? 24th, October the 14th, Manchester. Just in case anybody wants to chat about this, just in case. Bosh, and Bosh. Done. Right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. I will get back to you. So, one-man band here, as you can see, no expense spared. Tommy Fury versus KSI is on. There we go. I'll put this up with it as well, won't we? Sorry about that. We should do it properly, shouldn't we? If we're going to do this, we need to do it properly and give it the respect it deserves, which is none. Tommy Fury versus KSI is on. October the 14th, Manchester Arena. John Fury is going to be in his absolute element. Is he not, Mark Gilroy? Mark, I really appreciate you because I know you're one of my biggest supporters. Can I just say quickly, I know some of you guys have been around for a very long time and are some of my biggest supporters. I do know you and I do appreciate you. I just want you to know that. Don't ever think that I don't appreciate you. I do know who you are and I do appreciate you. It's just that when you've got a one-man show and you've got anywhere between 100 and 300 people, sometimes I mean there's 800 people in a chat, and you've got to mod it and do the graphics and talk all at the same time. Do you know how hard that is? It ain't easy. Rematch in Saudi. Richard says, the geniuses in the DAZN offices, we need to strike while the iron's hot, while everybody's talking about boxing. We need to announce KSI pay-per-view now. Yeah, Richard, straight on the heels of one of the most anticipated fights in the history of boxing comes this fight. Let's see what the reaction is online. Let's see what people are saying here about the reaction to this. Quite a few people are interested, but as you can see, it's mainly the sort of the YouTube people who are interested in that. But it is what it is. LD Phoenix says, Tommy schools him in a boring fight. You would feel that Tommy Fury is the overwhelming favorite to win this fight, but it is what it is. Crazy D3 says, I'm 100% watching it at a friend's house. Dench said something there. KSI is so all over the place, he might land something. Let me tell you something right now. There ain't going to be no VAR testing for this. Press 7 if you agree with me on that. KSI versus Tommy Fury. You ain't going to see no VAR testing for this fight. Jesus fucking Christ. Call this fight anything goes, isn't it? Who's sanctioning this? Is it the PBA again? Let's have a look at the thing. Who's sanctioning it? Is it the British Boxing Board of Control or is it the PBA? Mate, listen, I reckon KSI could pull this off, you know. Trust me. If it's been run by the PBA, yeah, I'm making KSI the favorite. Because boy, he could elbow Tommy Fury, he could kick Tommy Fury in the fucking knees and shatter his kneecaps. Whatever he does, they're not gonna call the fight off anyway. It's basically a free-for-all. And as for the fucking fighter safety and fucking drug testing, Jesus fucking Christ, it'd be absolutely non-existent. I'd imagine fucking, you know what I mean? With all due respect, I mean, I've got to be very, very careful what I say, yeah, but let's put it this way, and you've seen me do this same joke many a time. And Richard's saying Varda of UCAD have got the weekend off. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I really do hope, yeah, that they don't do drug testing for this fight. Because right now, I mean, I've got a feeling that the samples would come out looking something like this, innit? For this fight, innit? Jesus fucking Christ. Ain't no VAR for this, innit? These are what the samples will be looking like. Samples will be looking like this. The PBL will be looking at the taking samples going, yeah, seems legit to me. This is KSI's drug sir. This is KSI's urine sample, sir. Yeah. And Ian John Lewis looking at it going, yeah, nothing to see here. It seems perfectly fine to me, guys. Fight's on. Fight's on. I'm sorry, man, but that organization, I don't trust them. I don't trust these dudes, man. I don't trust these dudes because so far, yeah, I'm just going on what we saw in the KSI versus Joe Fournier fight. Entertainment is what they're good at, yeah? KSI misfits in the PBA, innit? They're good at entertainment, but they ain't very good at fighter safety. I mean, let's be fucking honest with you, yeah? When you go to a show and the promoter is on more dope than the fighters, no disrespect, but what does that tell you about the quality? Do you not think there's a bit of a problem there? When the promoter of the show, yeah, is more doped up than the fighters are. The promoter of the show, yeah, has got is on more class A narcotics, yeah, than all the fighters are put together. I mean, look, no disrespect, but I'm going to put this up here very, very quickly. I don't want to be disrespectful because I do like that. Well, I don't. But when you've got a promoter, yeah, who's going to be standing in between these two, looking like this, yeah. Like, put it this way, would you forgive me for being slightly concerned, yeah? Slightly concerned about fighter safety. And would you forgive me for being slightly concerned, yeah, about the usage of narcotics, yeah, in the Manchester arena on October the 14th, when you've got a promoter, yeah, who's legitimately turning up to fights looking like this, though. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just saying, like, you got a promoter who's turning up to events looking like this. Fucking hell, mate. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look at this one, look. Fucking hell, look. Jesus. You can't top this one, can you? You absolutely can't. Look. It is what it is. Oh, LD Phoenix coming in. He's saying, the Furies are fighting men, yet there's not a single Fury in a competitive fight. Do you know what? He's true, though, isn't he? LD Phoenix is bang on. The Furies are fighting men, yet there's not a single Fury in a competitive fight. Jesus Christ. One of them's fighting a fucking former UFC champion who's never had a professional boxing fight, and the other one's fighting fucking KSI. I have to say, Furies are down bad right now. There's no two ways about it. The Furies are absolutely down bad right now. Of that, there is absolutely no question. let's finish off by looking at my boss's cards here, Frank Warren. We've got Joe Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang. Jesus, the 23rd of September. So we've still got about 2 months before we've got Joe Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang. I'm trying to find that TNT Sports boxing schedule because the TNT Sports boxing schedule is coming up. Somebody in the chat's about to get banned for saying that Huey Fury is going to come back as if that's a big deal. Don't make me have to ban you, yeah, for bringing the great Huey Fury into the chat. No, I'm only kidding, but yeah, you are right. Huey Fury is imminently returning to the ring. I don't know what promotion is going to take Huey Fury in a minute, to be honest. No disrespect, but this is a guy who has stunk the joint out now so many times. I just don't know if there's any promotion out there who is going to deal with Huey Fury at this moment in time. You know, Huey Fury, yeah, is one more bad performance away from a fight zone card with Dennis Hobson. You know what I mean? That's where we are with Huey Fury at the minute. And with all due respect, like, you know, time is running out for Huey Fury. One more lackluster performance, yeah, where he fails to finish his dinner, and he's going to be on Fight Zone cards, and he's going to be paying for his own fights on Fight Zone TV. 100% promoted by Dennis Hobson. That's where it's going to end for Huey Fury, because it ain't going too good for him at the minute. But we'll have to wait and see. Huey Fury will probably fight Deji 50-50, if you ask me. 50-50. If you look at the resume, Deji's fought the toughest opponent out of them all. If you ask me, you know, Huey Fury's fought some tough guys, but Deji, with that performance against Floyd Mayweather Jr., do you know what I mean? The 50-50, Deji and Huey Fury, if you ask me. Vanguard's of Manhood says Fury's making money for old rope. Don't think they're bothered. It ain't looking good for Team Fury right now. I'm being honest with you. Listen, I'm still trying to pretend that Wilder versus Fury 3 was last week. That's how bad things are getting. You know, I've chosen to delude myself with the Furies right now. I've chosen to live in a bubble. I've chosen to go back in time. For me, Wilder versus Fury only happened a few weeks ago, and Tyson Fury's just retained the WBC Championship of the World. Anything after that, I've forgotten about, including including the other crap was coming up. Let's have a look. Casmas says, to Sully, if one of the blah, 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 blah. Retype that. I didn't quite get what you were saying there. But yeah, Huey Fury is what it is. Oh my God, Roman Fury. Before we go, can I say something as well about British boxing? And this will be a good point to finish, if you don't mind. What's this shit with everybody's family member has to be a boxer? Have you noticed that with British boxing as well? Am I right or am I wrong about that? Why is that in British boxing? That just because you come from the same ball bag as somebody's uncle who shagged somebody's cousin who used to be a boxer, you've got to be a boxer. Press 7 if you agree with me in that, or press 8 if you disagree. Why are we getting that in British boxing? Just because you came out of the same ball bag as someone's uncle who shagged someone's cousin whose dad was a boxer, all of a sudden, you've got to be a boxer. Like, I'm not being funny. You guys know I love Tyson Fury to bits. But how many fucking Furies do we need in a boxing ring? Huey Fury, Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury, Roman Fury, young King Fury, who's a good guy and who quit early. We've got Isaac Lowe, who markets himself on being the cousin of Tyson Fury. He's not Tyson Fury's cousin. Who else have we got? John Fury was a fighter. How many? Let's start with the Fury family. How many more Furies do we need to see in the boxing ring? No disrespect, but it seems like every uncle, cousin, brother, and sister, and they're all related, aren't they? So you've got Tyson Fury, Tommy Fury, young King Fury, Roman Fury, fucking Isaac Lowe, and then they're all related to Felix Cash and Billy Joe Saunders, aren't they? And then you've got Felix Cash and Billy Joe, and to be fair, Felix Cash and Billy Joe Saunders are legitimate boxers. But then look at this. Look, Hosea Burton, Nathan Gorman. Oh my fucking God, yeah, exactly. Hosea Burton, Nathan Gorman, his brother. But then look at this though. Nah. Tim Tszew's a beast. I haven't really seen Tim Tszyu yet, but Tim Tszyu is a top level fighter. What about this? Look, let me show you now when you know now that we're taking the piss in the UK. This stuff now. You're going to laugh at this, but I'm going to tell you how it is now. So the Furies is one thing, right? So everybody's got to have a brother or a cousin or someone that's boxing, right? But then this is the moment that took the fucking piss. Look at this, though. Do you remember when we had this? So let me get this up. The browser's playing up again. What about this, though? Mick Hennessy Jr. But who the fuck asked for this, though? Mick Hennessy Jr. Who asked for this? Mick Hennessy Jr. Yeah, I'm the son of Mick Hennessy. Okay. Do we need to see you on Channel 5? Do we need to see you on Channel 5? For what reason? I mean, it's one thing to be related to fucking Fury, isn't it? It's one thing to be related to fucking Fury. It's one thing to be related to fucking Eubank. Eubank and fucking 99 of his fucking cousins are boxing. You got Chris Eubank, Harlem Eubank was boxing. Who's the other one who's boxing? Got Chris Eubank, Harlem Eubank. You had... I shouldn't do it, but... I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it. Hold on. What is this shit? Hold on. You had Chris Eubank. You had Harlem Eubank. And then you had this guy who turned up on Chris Eubank's doorstep and said, Dad, where you been? Sorry. I'm not taking a piss. I'm just saying, innit? No, but what is going on? No, but why is it everybody's family member got to be a boxer, innit? So you had Chris Eubank, Harlem Eubank, and Nathaniel Wilson. He turned up, innit? At Chris Eubank's door after 20 years. Dad, I told you, innit? I've done this trick before. Chris Eubank Jr., when he opened the door, there was no point in going for a DNA test, man. But Chris Eubank Jr., when this man turned up at his door and said, Dad, what you been for the last 20 years? Chris Eubank Jr. must have been like looking in the fucking mirror. It's like he'd gone back in time. Do you know what? You know what? Deep down in his heart, yeah, I know he wanted to go to Jeremy Kyle and do a DNA test, but there was no point in it. He had to take the L, innit? Chris Eubank Senior took the L on the doorstep, didn't he? As soon as he opened the front door, yeah? Hello? Dad, where you been? He had to hold that L straight away, didn't he? Because he looks exactly like him. He looks exactly like him. No denial. He just invited him in straight away, didn't he? He must have just invited him in straight away. I guarantee you, as soon as he just invited him in straight away, you just think, fuck, I've been nabbed here. Chris Eubanks at the door saying, fuck, I've been at it. Fuck, better let him in. Better get him in before someone calls the Sun newspaper. Bring him in. Chris Jr., let him in. Let him in before the Sun newspaper get the story quick. You don't want the Sun getting hold of this story. Let him in. I've been in the papers enough. I don't want to be in the papers for this shit. Oh dear. Right. So, dear. Look. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Why we got to see these guys in British boxing? Mick Hennessy Jr. We don't need to see that, mate. We're not interested in this shit. We don't need to see this shit. Right. And of course, Harley Benn, who I ain't going to put up here. Anyway, guys. 1 hour, 32 minutes. I'm a bit worried about some of the jokes I've been making. So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.